morning, good evening, whatever time zone. So this is virtual. Earlier, we planned this to be face-to-face in Arlington. That's what we did last year. Our first workshop was actually held in Arlington face-to-face, stakeholder engagement. So as you can see, Steve mentioned, we have a very tight agenda. You can see from morning to evening, going up to around 5 p.m. But it's very interactive. So we are calling it workshop. So I'm going to give you overview of how we are going to run this show. First is what we are calling this workshop of workshop. And then following tomorrow, we are going to have conference. So that's why we are using the term workshop and conference. So today we assigned for workshop to discuss what we learned running the 5 different workshop, where we are, and also to brief you and get your input as we go forward. And then the conference is going to start from tomorrow. And that's what I'm going to talk a little bit on that. So let me share my slides. So I hope everyone can see my screen. Anyone can just respond. Kathy, can you see the
Yeah,
screen?
we can see your screen.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, we see everything, Sunil. It's good.
Good. Okay, so that's good. Resolution, everything is good. So I'm going to briefly talk about this so that we can go into a couple of presentation. But the key here is the breakout. So let me put some of the things down so that I can share in a better way. So if you see the agenda, what we tried to do is, Steve gave a good welcome and overview, and if some questions and comments will come, we will address that in the discussion session. So I'm going to present briefly the strategic plan, what we submitted to NSF as a part of ERC. And as Steve mentioned, even if this is not ERC, we have created a bigger community with our vision, so we can go for many other opportunities, not just ERC. Right now, it is associated with ERC, but we will be pursuing many other opportunities like DOE and other. They are coming with Water Hub and other initiatives. Then Bev is going to talk about diversity and culture of inclusion. So all these, the topics, we held workshops, separate workshops. And NSF asked us to run what they call workshop of workshop. That's the reason why we are doing this. We are bringing now what we learned in each of these individual workshops. So diversity and culture of inclusion. Then we had a stakeholder engagement, and John is going to talk. So Bev is going to talk on diversity and culture. John is going to talk on what we learned from a stakeholder. And each of these, we have prepared white paper also. As I go, I will show you where you can download the white paper. What that white paper is, we tried to compile what we learned. There was a lot of discussion. We also have Google Drive, where we have put all the recordings and all those individual. If you are interested in any of these individual workshop, you can go and you can find the material there. And then we have organized, there are 4 sessions we have organized, and that we will go in more detail for breakout also. So you have to select which one you are interested in going in a breakout session. So first will be, I mean, it's not first, but we will present convergent research, governance, workforce development, innovation ecosystem, and then we will run all these 4 parallel sessions. And then we will come back in the end and summarize not just what we learned, but also path forward, where we go from here. And you all want to be part of it. That's why you are attending this workshop. So this is I just cut and pasted from our proposal. So the proposed Smart One Water cyber physical social infrastructure will transform the way people, I will not read all, but the whole concept of, and we also have the website. So I will encourage you all. Right now, the website is not research oriented. It's more the workshop. All material is there. So if you can go, it's www.smartonewater.org. So that website has, and as we finish this workshop today evening, then we will upload the material from tomorrow on this website, all discussions, all recordings and everything in this website. So what is One Water? What's the, what the concept? Some people call One Water integrated water. So the key here is what we are trying to do is this whole water created as a silos, drinking water, wastewater, storm water. There are some interaction is there, but still organizational wise, how they provide services, So we want this to be more holistic. And now we are in 21st century. If you look at it's all created from early 1800, 1700 based on the need. And now we are in 21st century. So that's what the concept of is how we transform this, the water as a one water. There are many definitions that different agencies have their own, but the concept is the same, how we can see this as a one water as a service. So that's the one water. Where smartness is coming is from digital transformation. So right now, data belongs, most of the decisions and all those is still very silos, bubble. These are few examples. As you can see, a lot of bubbles are there. And I will give you one example of Houston. Houston thought they are doing good before Harvey came. They're drinking water, the wastewater. They were all working in the each department. But when Harvey came, they can do system level analysis. And that's where, when I was talking with Houston, that's where the concept came to me is that no, they need a system level analysis. Because if something happens, if everything is normal, maybe they feel everything is working. But even that is not efficient if you look at from systems level point of view. So that's kind of our, and we will discuss more. So one water is coming from this slide and smartness is coming from the digital transformation so that we can use AI and other techniques. The problem right now is I'm working in one project. AI, every utility wants to apply AI, but the data is not there. A lot of data is one sort of data. It's not historical data. It's not time-dependent data, and data is not structured. In the water, we don't have one definition of failure. I will tell you that. Just in the pipe, when I talk to many, they define failure in a different way. So that's kind of overall. The other important thing is, Steve mentioned, we are generation 4 ERC. So if you look at previous ERC, Stanford, I believe Dick Luthri is here, so he can tell you a little bit more in the discussion that generation 2, I believe Stanford was generation 2, and then generation 3 came and the 4. So what's the difference is generation 4, they want more emphasis on all these, what they call 4 pillar. And I mean, we made this and the dome at the center, what you are seeing. So convergent research is very important. It has to be convergent research, not just one discipline. So water is not just from civil engineering or from natural resources. Water touches many disciplines, right? Agriculture, water, industrial, then natural resources, socioeconomic. So there are many disciplines will be involved. That's the convergent research. Then we have to also target innovation ecosystem, workforce development, stakeholder engagement. So that was the whole reason why we did 5 workshops. If you look at this, this is all 5: convergent research, innovation ecosystem, workforce development, stakeholder engagement, and diversity and culture of inclusion. So that's kind of our thought process was to run these 5 workshops. We didn't do a separate workshop, open workshop, but we did with all our participating universities to brainstorm and come with research ideas. And today we will discuss that. Paulo is going to discuss that, what we came up with, and try to get your input. So today main is, we are trying to converge all these workshops, what we learned and how we can talk, because it's not truly independent. We ran each of these as independent: stakeholder engagement, workforce, innovation ecosystem. But when we were having workforce development, a lot of discussion came related to innovation ecosystem, related to governance, related to stakeholder engagement. So there's a lot of interdependencies is there in these workshops. The other is, keep in mind as we go and talk individually each of these topics, we also need to think about what we will do in near term, mid-term, and long term. What that means is near term is like 1 to 2 years. So what should be the low-hanging fruit or something we should do so that utilities or industry can use it, or we can even enhance our fundamental research in near term. And then going into the midterm, which is 3 to 5 years, and then long term is 5 to 10 years. And also thought process has to be there, what we will do after 10 years, because NSF, if NSF is going to fund this, after 10 years, they will be gone, the funding will be over. How this organization or center we are going to create can be sustainable after 10 years. So that kind of a discussion we will do. So as showed earlier, we have a very kind of all speakers we selected and they were all involved. So most of these speakers are not, they were involved right from the beginning when we wrote the planning grant. Then they were involved with each workshops. So that's where we are going to run this today, the whole show. So that's kind of so little bit going brief background on what we will do with the swim conference, which is starting from tomorrow. Lot of these what we learned today, we will try to bring that also, although it's a conference, so a lot of speakers are there, but a lot of federal, we selected federal initiative. If you look at there, USGS, Army Corps of Engineers, EPA, they are going to talk in the same Smart One Water. And then in the end, we have panel discussion also tomorrow. So that's kind of an overview. Then Wednesday is the same. We are calling utility. They are going to talk about their initiative. Then we have the panel discussion on workforce. Then on Thursdays, the same thing. We start with industry, Arcada, Xylem, Microsoft, they are going to talk. And then we have a panel discussion. So that's kind of an overall architecture. So a little bit about housekeeping before I can stop here and give to Bev so that we have more time on general discussion. So little logistic here, mute your phone when you log in and you can unmute when you are talking, but again, mute back. The other is if you are presenting, then you share your screen, but after presentation, you have to stop sharing, just like what I'm going to do now. And then in the breakout, you need to select. And Kathy, at 1 o'clock in the break, we will give the instruction and all those, or Kathy will put it in the chat. So look for that, which topic you are more interested to go in the breakout, which is convergent research, governance and implementation, workforce development, innovation ecosystem. So that's kind of our overall. And use the chat function. All these will be recorded. Let me tell you this also, the main room, whatever discussion will be recorded. You go in the breakout room, that will also be recorded. We are taking note. I have assigned a student for each breakout for rooms. So all notes we will be taking, and everything will be available to all participants after once we finish this. Although we have very tight schedule this week, but we can promise you that by Friday, Saturday, we will upload everything on the website and the Google Drive and send you the link. So that's kind of an overview. I want to thank all our sponsors and partners. NSF is the one they funded, but we have a big team, as you can see here, the core universities, partner universities. Water is a big, so we have to collaborate with, and these are in the inertial. Some more university will come as we go forward. A lot of federal agencies are strongly supporting this. They were part of our workshop. So it's not just for the namesake. What we are trying to engage everyone so that everyone can play here as a team. And then, of course, you can see here Water Research Foundation, WEF, and utilities. A lot of utilities, I just put their name because these are the key utilities who came and supported in our running the workshops and all those. But a lot of other utilities are also part of, and they will become part as we go forward. So that's kind of an overview. Contact is very important if you are facing any kind of trouble getting in or you logged out. I have given my cell phone number, and also Kathy. She's the host of this, so anything she can help you with. Her is 540-449-5589. So these two cell, you should take a note. So I will try to stop here. Any question, comment before we move to other speakers?
So Neil, this is Neil.
Go ahead, Neil.
What is the deadline for submission, or when are you going to receive some notice from NSF about the next step? And what are the other deadlines you're looking at?
Oh, right. Yeah. So that's very important, Neil. So we will, again, I mean, this is again what I learned from, maybe Steve McKnight can tell in a better way, but sometime in January, we will know. But deadline is fixed, May 25th. Kathy, if you can correct me, May 23rd or 25th?
I believe it's the 25th. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the 25th.
That answers your question, Neil?
Yeah, that's good. I didn't hear from Steve any correction, so
yeah, no, that's accurate, and there's a little uncertainty in some of those, but then the next steps would be reverse site visits, all of those sorts of things that normally occur during this process. I do know that they've slightly changed some of the timelines, but I'm not privy to those details at this point. But I think they're
Okay.
still within the overall rough windows that we would expect.
Okay, thank you.